Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am JayLee. This is JLeesCorner. Y'all know it's watch night, so it's the platinum hair and whatnot, okay? But this is my review for the Housewives of Potomac Season 5, Episode 11. It wasn't much this episode, so I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as I can because I'm tired. I want to get it done and whatnot. But first things first, if you have not done so already, please remember to subscribe to my channel and become my whole girl. I can't even do it. JayBird. Dun, and all that goodness and stuff, okay? Please do not forget to also always to inhale, okay, and to exhale, remember to breathe, to relax and to relate and to release, to always send to yourself and anyone around you. You can also like this video, comment in the comment section, share it on your social media by hitting the little share button. Follow me on IG and on Twitter at J_Lees_Corner, and all of that is in the description box below. Okay, let's get on now. It was about Karen going back to see her family. You know, Robyn not doing nothing besides on people. Candiace complaining about getting beaten up. And then, you know, just Gizelle's foolishness and bad fashions. But first, we see Karen has asked Ashley and Gizelle to come with her back to her hometown, which is like 2 hours away. A little small little town or whatever. It's their homecoming. They've asked Karen to come back for homecoming. So she wanted to bring them to show them where she came from or whatever. And they're gonna all drive down together. Now Ashley did not bring the baby this time or whatever, and Ashley looked really, really cute. I still don't know how Gizelle can mess up wearing the simple black outfit. Okay, the shoes don't go with nothing. Okay, the fur on the collar was too much. I just don't like it. The shoes messed it up. The shoes and the fur around the collar messed it up, and that bad wig. But Ashley looked great. Okay, Karen looked great, but Gizelle always does not know how to dress, even the simplest of the simple or whatnot. So, you know, that's what it was. And when Gizelle said, oh, so Karen invited me and Ashley, but she did not invite Ray. Ray is invited. Ray isn't going. Girl, stop trying to find issues in other people's lives. You and Jamal ain't together in the same house, in the same state. Stop trying to put y'all bullshit ass separate relationship on to the people. Ray is 99 years old. He ain't trying to go back to little city town full of homecoming. He wants to stay at home. He don't want to try. Ray too old to be in anybody's car for 2 hours. His body would just stiffen on up. Okay, leave him be. Leave it alone or whatnot. We then see Candiace. Candiace at home. She invites Robyn over. And Robyn like, oh my God, you did all this for me? I said, oh, girl, it wasn't nothing but some goddamn crackers and some fruit. That's the snack the children get. Okay, kids get strawberries and pineapples and grapes and crackers. You did all this for me, Robyn? Girl, move. Robyn don't know what all of this is. I'm like, it's just dumb. But I'm like, it was fruit and crackers. It was just fruit and crack, and not even that many fruits. Okay, that wasn't enough strawberries. I want more. You cut up, 5 strawberries? Girl, bye. Anyway, so Robyn, no storyline Dixon, tells Candiace about the conversation that they had with Monique at Karen's house prior. You know, how Monique isn't remorseful. You know, Monique was making excuses. Monique said, right now, I don't know how I feel. So right now, no, I'm not remorseful. I feel like she also said, I'm still trying to process what happened. Robyn going back to Candiace, telling Candiace the most negative things just perpetuates the bullshit of them still being beefed out. If you really want to fix things, you wouldn't do that. But Robyn ain't got no time for that because Robyn ain't got no storyline. So she needs to be the bone collector between the two of Candiace and Monique. Okay, she then brings up how, you know, I can't believe Karen has not publicly expressed any disappointment in Monique. And they then flagged back to Karen saying out loud, you fucked up, Monique. She is publicly expressing disappointment in Monique. But expressing your disappointment does not mean cutting a person off and making them feel like shit. You acknowledge they're wrong and help make it the right way. But Robyn don't know about that because she's friends with who? Messy ass Gizelle. And And Candiace, I'm so sad. I'm so hurt because this is hurtful. We get it. She's hurt. She got beat up. Boom, pow, pow. But she then brings up, well, when I talked to Karen, Karen told me if it was her, that she would press charges. I'm looking like, okay, so Candiace said, I'm thinking about press charges. We know that you pressed them, they was all dropped. Let's move on, okay? Anyway, they then bring up Robyn, okay? Robyn looks like what she is. Somebody who owes the IRS $90,000 in back taxes. I'm like, while she over here fussing about Monique and Candiace fussing and fighting, she need to be fussing about her goddamn IRS bill, okay? You need to be somewhere getting a job, okay, to pay the I, the R, and the S. Now, she tell Ken, because Ken like, you owe, are you okay? That's a lot of money. How she looked like she owed that money. But again, she's like, well, I thought I could do my own taxes. I thought I had did things right, but I had forgot about some income here, there, whatever. And so that girl, what income she forget about? What she do? I don't care. Anyway, it's like Juan was upset because we were trying to buy a house. So that kind of puts a little halt into things because it's a lien on stuff. I'm like, well, why I know you broke? He was broke too, so I guess it is what it is or whatever. And the funny part was Candiace then said Robyn was the same person who told Karen 2 years ago that it's impossible to not know that you owe back taxes. But I'm pray for you. I mean, Robyn should pray for a job. We then have Karen. So Karen, Giselle, and Ashley get to the farm. It's a family farm of 122 acres of land. It's called Woodland Farm, because that's her maiden name is Woodland. And she brings up how way back when the family were slaves who lived and worked on that land, but they then bought it and they now own it. Okay. And it is a wonderful thing to be able to buy the land that you were slaves on and use it to then be a lucrative business endeavor for the family or whatever. Now we do see she there, and we see her with her aunts. Her aunts were there. Those are two of her aunts, okay, who they all favor, and her cousins were there. So we met them and whatnot. They just sitting around chit-chatting, looking at old family albums or whatever. A good time was being had by all or whatever. They don't want to get too emotional because the last time she was home was around the time her father died. And we do see how she takes the girls on a tour of the farm. And they was riding around, honey, on the big tractor, because the farm is used to farm like corn and wheats and soybeans and all that stuff. So again, it's a whole family business or whatever. Okay. Boom, pow, pow. So we then see Monique calls Ashley as they're out there, whatever. And so they talk to Monique a bit on speakerphone. Now Giselle is looking like, oh, I don't want to talk to her. Well, go the fuck away, Giselle. Go over there with that shit, okay? Because again, Ashley and Karen are still there for Monique. Giselle really acts as if, no one is saying what Monique did was okay, but I need Giselle to get the fuck over it, okay? The only one who should still be upset about that is Candiace. Boom, pow, pow, okay? Anyway, so she's a liar. Why are we even talking to her? I'm saying, I don't care. If I was Candiace, I would have been pressed charges. Well, you're not Candiace, so shut up. Now, Karen, it's crazy. It's a crazy situation. I hate that two people I'm friends with are having this issue, whatever you said. But I did talk to Candiace, and I told her, by the way that she was talking about what happened to me, by how she was expressing how she felt, I told her, if I felt how you felt, I would press charges. And I think what she meant by that was, if you can't move past it, if it hurt you so much, if I was you, I would press charges. I mean, look, no one's saying Candiace should not press them, but Monique could just also press them too, whatever. So again, Ashley said, well, does Monique know you feel that way? She's like, well, yeah, I think she does. And if she doesn't, I'll make it abundantly clear. People try to act as if Karen don't mean what she's saying, say what she mean. That ain't Karen. Like, she gonna speak that talk or whatever. Okay, gonna leave that be. Now, we then see Wendy. We see Wendy with her sister. And I'm like, they both look like they got their wigs from the 99 cent store. I mean, these have to be beauty store wigs that cost like $29.99 in the back with daggone. It's just bad wig city. Bad wigs, bad makeup. Girl, y'all would be such... I just don't know what to say. Like look at this. Look at that. Okay, she did not even try around the edges. Okay, she did not even try to blend. None of that shit. Okay, you can clearly see it's not a match. And then her sister, like this, I mean, the sister, that's like a dinosaur wig. But I mean, it's just bad wigs and bad makeup all up and through it, whatnot. We're gonna move on from that. Now they are there chit chatting or whatever, and she's like, I'm scared to tell mama that I no longer want to be a professor at Johns Hopkins. She brings up how her mom's gets all this credit or all this ego based on her daughters both being, like, the sister is a doctor or lawyer. I think the sister's a lawyer. And then she's a doctor. So the mom's like, clout based off her children or whatever. So she's like, I feel like if I tell mama that I don't want to do this, she's going to wonder what I want to do. And I don't know what I want to do yet. I feel like I never got a chance to do what I wanted to do or even figure out what I want to do. And that's what I want. And she's like, well, I'm behind you, sister, however you want to do things, but mama's going to be upset. And you grown. Your mama live in your house. So, I mean, as long as you still are able to provide for your family or whatever, it should not matter. Now, I heard through the grapevine, okay, on Twitter, through some gospel sites, that Wendy was actually in debt because of her student loans, stuff like that, and that her husband has not practiced law in a long time. Now, I wonder, look, don't be going into bankruptcy and into debt, get all these degrees. Because if you have all these degrees and all these bills you can't afford to pay, what's the point? Okay, I'm gonna leave that be. Now we then see Juan and Robyn. Okay, Juan and Robyn wanted to play Let's Play Strangers Who Meet at a Bar. And I'm like, Robyn is a horrible actress. Like, it was very, very bad. I'm pretty sure she borrowed Wendy's wig for this scene, because that's Wendy's wig. And I ain't like it. I get what she was trying to do, but I'm like, this is not something that you should try to do on TV when you're not a good actress. Okay, you're not you couldn't even act interested in him at the bar. It was just cringy. I was like, fast forward. Okay. And they then talk about, her little back taxes. I'm like, well, hopefully they can afford that meal. Gonna pay for it. Okay, anyway, Juan was like, well, that's on you. You did that. But I get it. Okay, I get it. It's fine. You'll be fine. I'm like, if she don't pay them, she won't be fine. But I'm like, I don't need y'all to ever come back on TV and act like y'all a stranger trying to have sex. It didn't work. And Juan is so attractive, and Robyn's attractive as well. Y'all just get it together, whatever. So we then see Karen and the girls are at the little homecoming and everything. It's weird because it's like, it's homecoming, but it's such a small town. It's like, what is y'all doing? But it's still, it's just a little parade or whatnot. So it's Karen is in the little car riding around throwing out candy to people, because I guess they think they throw out candy. We see Giselle and Athy chit-chatting. I wasn't really listening or whatever. They bring up, Ray and Karen growing apart. They bring up how Athy and Michael could possibly divorce. Not real talk, it's like chit-chat talk, about how marriages can fall apart, how marriages can be fixed, how you can always, do one thing or the other to fix shit. I'm like, but Giselle, she don't know nothing about that, because she's only been married and divorced and cheated on numerous times. So she don't know about working shit out. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? She then said, I have no idea why Karen is even in the parade right now. Probably because this town is so small and she made it out. So they look at her as if she's Beyonce. I'm looking like, you can't get that someone made out of a small town and they're on television, so they are popular in their hometown. So even hometowns have homecomings, bitch. Okay, but I digress. We're gonna move on past that. Karen is happy to be in her hometown, riding around, and she loves her city. Okay, oh, half a ass, Giselle. Now we then see Candiace, okay, well, mama, and they out there dog shopping. Candiace and Chris want to get a dog. Chris wants some big dog. She wants a small dog or whatever, so she wants to a place to see about adopting the dog or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like, this is a test to see if I get a dog. If I can then maybe take care of the dog, I can maybe take care of a baby. I'm like, dogs are like children. Anyway, her mama came probably just to see what kind of dog they don't have her house. Because again, it's our mama's house. So what kind of dog is it, Candiace? Is it a big dog? I need to know what kind of dog will be in my house. Anyway, her mom sit out back because she did find the dog but she liked, but she wants to come back and visit with Chris so they can make a decision on the dog. But they sit out back and they chit chat. She brings up how I've been in counseling, just talking through my emotions and talking through my feelings, which she has every right to do. She brings up how she's just, just the fight thing. It's just like I just don't get, why it happened or whatever. And then the mom then say, well, I just can't believe it happened. Like, who is just out in the street fighting? I'm looking like, you smacked Candiace in the face with a purse last season. She was pissed. Y'all had to go to counseling because you hit her in the face with a purse outside of a restaurant. So who is outside? Who be outside in the streets fighting? You, mama, your ass or whatever. I'm like, girl, Monique took it further. She took it all the way down. But y'all the same if you ask me. Anyway, Candiace then brings up how Monique has been kind of making fun of it, saying things on social media, not being remorseful and not contacting her. So her mom said, well, this is the time that we should call lawyers. Okay, we know that Monique wants to sue Monique. That Candiace wants to sue Monique. The fact that we know already what happened with the charges makes me not care about it enough, because we know both Candiace's charges and Monique's response charges were both tossed out because the judge saw that they were both at fault in one way or the other, so neither one of them could pursue charges or whatnot. But let's move on. Now we then see Karen. Karen back on the farm. She takes them to our childhood church, and she brings about the last time that she was there was her dad's funeral. So of course she's there. She's emotional. She said she feels like her parents' spirits are there with her because she feels warm. Could be the coat. But again, she's taking it all in, and I can agree with that because I have not went back to our church since my dad's funeral, and it'll be 6 years in February because it's just too much. So it is hard going back to that place because you remember the last time I was here, this was not feeling or whatever. But Karen just brings up how a lot of her strength comes from her leaning on her faith, and how that's how she's been able to get through things in her life and everything. You know what I'm saying? I just, in hard times, I said lean on my faith, and she gets emotional. And then she kind of goes back into like the little deacon room and she was crying. We can hear her crying on camera. Because she's like, I just missed him so much. And, she comes back out. She's like, I'm okay. It's just, it's not a sadness within me. It's just, a feeling of coming full circle. And, so for me, that's kind of what I'm grappling with within myself. And then she brings up like, losing her parents, she just kind of went into survivor mode and everything, and how she always felt like she could just, like, the pen don't rate to love her enough to get through it, but she realized that she actually has to work through it. Girl, lose your parents. Look, it's a lot to take in. I was crying today because I miss my dad. We ain't gonna go there. Anyway, so we then see at Monique's house, okay? Monique is there with Chris, okay? Her pastor and the pastor's wife is coming over, and she wants to figure out, like, how she allowed, someone to push her outside of who she is and her normal behavior, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So how the incident has turned their lives upside down and everything. Now, the pastor and his wife get there and they sit on their chit-chat, and I feel like this is a great conversation that I think people needed to see. Okay, now Monique brings up how she felt like during the incident she blacked out. So, just certain stuff she just don't remember. But she's like, I feel like maybe I was at my tipping point, and that's why I just snaps. Okay, she brings up how I just realized how Candiace can manipulate situations. She gets combative at times and she can get aggressive. Okay, and the pastor then said, you have to be honest about what is going on with your own heart. At times, the person we say is our friend is really more of a reflection of who we are. And I was like, damn. Okay, he then tells her, like, when I met you, you were a fighter. Mainly because, like, from childhood through your adulthood, you had to consistently protect yourself in your whole life you've been fighting, like, do the bullies and things like that. You always had to prove yourself, and you have been in survivor mode, and all that came up in that moment. Okay. And when he said that, I felt like people see the action of what Monique did that we all know was wrong. However, we all saw it building up, okay? And I think everyone has said that Candiace did not deserve all of it, but it wasn't like she was a victim of it or whatever. Monique then said, like, I just do what I need to do to protect my family. I don't talk about my feelings that much or whatever, but I do get tired of being criticized, of being picked apart, if everybody nitpicking everything I do. I'm always having to prove myself, even when I know my own self-worth. And the pastor then said, the people here, the people in Potomac, are not impressed with your perfection of yourself. Okay, he said that's what is the frustration in you. You know what I'm saying? You need to reconcile that within yourself. Meaning you have this idea of who you are, and the people here don't care. And so that frustrates you because you're trying to prove who you are to these people or whatever. And Monique is crying at this point, and she's very, very sad. And I appreciate Chris just being there with her, being a supportive husband, she agrees with the pastor because he read her like a book. You know what I'm saying? So where she kept trying to make it seem as if, well, this was a reaction based on this or that. He was like, no. It was a buildup of stuff that you've been just packing on within yourself, and you exploded, okay? But it's not even about the other people. It's about the buildup within yourself that made it happen. And then she's like, you're right. You know what I'm saying? There was this pressure put up inside of me that had nothing to do with her, and she didn't deserve that. And her crying as she said it, I'm like, that's when she felt remorseful. So many people want people to feel instant remorse. I feel like instant remorse sometimes isn't authentic. Instant remorse sometimes is people wanting other people to feel like they're sorry, even if they haven't gotten to the point of really feeling that. Okay, this was maybe like a week or two after the incident, and I feel like the conversation with the pastor just kind of putting the mirror on her, and like, this was you. This is a buildup of what you had going on, and her saying out of her mouth, like, it had nothing to do with Candiace. It was all the buildup of just everything in life that I just kind of beat down on her, and my eye just itch. And she did not deserve that. And I need to reach out to her and talk to her and apologize to her. That is what I kept telling people. You have to give people a chance to feel actually sorry. Because if you keep wanting people to apologize just to do it, it's not a point. And even Chris, spoke up and said, I need to reach out to Chris too, white Chris, because, we friends, and I have not talked to him since the incident happened. I know he may feel some kind of way too. And so, for all the folk, I can't believe Monique. People have to come to the point of accepting their faults in their own time, but it has to be authentic enough for them to feel it. If not, there won't be any change. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like had Candiace not pressed charges, as we found out at the same time that Monique was trying to reach out to Candiace, was when Candiace was following, was trying to sue her, and stuff. And that's why they haven't talked to this day. But again, I'm happy she got to that point, because at that point, her apology to Candiace will be real. It'll be heartfelt, and that don't mean Candiace even have to accept it. Like, Candiace does not have to accept Monique's apology, but at least you can see it's coming from a real place, and that's what I'm happy to see. Because I know, even though I don't like Candiace, I still feel like she got more than what she deserved. I just also felt like, if you fussing with somebody, a fight can happen. You ain't a victim. But again, I'm happy that Monique is on a path to understanding where, all the anger came from. And we'll see how it play out next season. Anyway, that was it. Gotta go. Peace.